Hello, welcome back to Farm Fit as I get ready for Goliath games now. Oh, how many weeks out are we? About three? Just about 3 weeks out. So I've got 2 more good training weeks. I have something in my eye. I'm going to leave this in. Raw and unedited, baby. Yeah, so around about 3 weeks to go, 2 more heavy training weeks, and then a deload week. And all in all, feeling pretty good. A couple weeks ago, I brought my calories back up to around maintenance because I had lost what I wanted to lose in terms of weight, but was starting to flounder a bit in terms of power. So, brought the calories back up and have been feeling good ever since, especially on training days. So, I'll go through my week more or less this week and how it felt, and then a little bit extra at the end. So, the big one this week was deadlifts. They were 13 inches, and I had to work up to a heavy single. And deadlift has been a struggle for me this whole prep, which is sad because it's probably the lift I'm the most confident in and probably my favorite lift. And seeing at the very beginning of this, and you can go back and watch the video where I talk about of all the events coming up for Goliath games, the deadlift for reps was the one I was the least concerned about. But as this prep's gone on, that's changed quickly. I am very concerned about the deadlift for reps because my deadlift has not gone well all prep. I managed to work up to 530 for a single on the 13-inch deadlift, which was a good mental win for me because I was able to move it, felt it. Oh, okay, good, excellent. From height, so whatever, I'll take it. It is what it is. It's a small win. But it's a win nonetheless, especially for deadlifts. So I definitely needed that going forward because, like I said, it's the one that I'm now the least confident in. And then I had log press this week as well and some circus dumbbell on my pressing day. But the log I was excited about because my log has been slowly coming back all prep. And I hit 255 for a single on the log, but I had elbow sleeves on because I for some reason was determined to try to make elbow sleeves work, and I just can't. Every time I wear them, I feel so restricted, and I don't feel comfortable with them. I don't feel comfortable cleaning with them. So I took them off, did 255 again, got it much better, and then went up to 265 and got 265. And 265 for the single is the best log I've had since I started this prep. Not that log press is coming up in any competition anytime soon, but I like to train it because I want to be better at it. And it's a popular strongman event, and I need to be better at it. So getting my log back to 265 was a big mental win for me. And then moved on to event day. And events have been going really good for me, especially the double dumbbell. I'm confident that I can finish all 3 dumbbells. Now it's just a matter of speed. Now it's just a matter of doing it as fast as I possibly can because I know I can hit all the weights. So I just have to make sure that I can do it clean. Farmers was one that I was worried about only because my grip has always been a struggle. And this week I did a little bit more than comp weight for a max distance. I'm not going to give out what the distance was. You should know better than that. I'm trying to play this a little bit close to the vest. But I did over comp weight for a decent distance. So again, that's definitely helping me. Yoke, I did over comp weight for 20 meters, which is not the 100 feet, obviously. But again, being able to do more than competition weight on that event for a decent run, having to pick it twice because we'll have to pick it twice. Same with the farmers. We'll have to pick the yoke twice. So doing that in this setting has been a big mental win for me. So the reason I have really enjoyed doing the event day in my training is for this reason specifically. Because I can train picking up sandbags, I can train the farmers, I can train the yokes, I can train the dumbbell, and I can do that all in one day. And I can kind of get myself ready mentally and physically for what that's going to be like on the day of. So being able to do comp weight or above on all of those on the same day has been a big mental win for me going into the competition. They released the athlete list now, and I have some stiff competition. A lot of guys on there that have kicked my ass in the past. So I'm trying to put that out of my mind and trying to focus more just on getting through the competition myself, finishing all of the events, because I've been doing this is my 4th season, and I don't think I've had a show where I have not zeroed an event. I've zeroed at least one event, in some cases multiple events. This looks like it could be, touch wood, the first one that I don't zero an event. So that's my goal going into it, is to not zero an event. Outside of that, it's to get my qualifier, and then beyond there would be podium. So that's kind of my 3 tiered goals, I would say, is to don't zero anything, get my qualifier, podium, which I think I'm trying to keep it reasonable that way, because I have some events that I'm okay at. I have some events that I should be really good at. So we'll see. Outside of that, they are going to announce the events for provincials this week, and Strongman Ontario has already teased what those events were. On their Instagram page, they put up a poll, and we could vote on what we think they're going to be. So for the pressing event, the options were circus dumbbell, log, axle, and sandbag. I voted for log. I hope it's going to be a log press. I get the feeling it's going to be sandbag. So if I had to sit here and guess, gun to my head, I would probably say it's going to be a sandbag overhead press. We did an axle overhead press last year. I can't imagine they're going to give us axle back-to-back years. That's just not their MO. Their MO is to give events out and make them more difficult than I think they need to be. So with that said, I get the feeling we're going to have to try to press a sandbag, which sucks for me. I like pressing, but sandbag pressing is not really my shtick. 2 years ago, 2024, we did a circus dumbbell log back and forth, where you could pick which one you started on, then you could press one, go to the other, and come back, and you had to go back and forth as many times as you could. So I'm hoping it's either a log or a circus dumbbell, but I get the feeling it's going to be a sandbag. Deadlift, the options were axle, trap bar, mammoth, or max. I get the feeling it's going to be mammoth, because local Ontario events have run a mammoth bar deadlift in the past. Battle at the Brink 2024 and Muskoka Mayhem 2025 both ran mammoth deadlifts. One was max, that was last year at Muskoka, and then one was for reps, and that was Battle at the Brink. I get the feeling it's going to be a mammoth. I would like for it to be axle or trap bar even. Trap bar I'd be okay with. I like trap bar deadlifts. Max would be a hard one to do, only because at amateur events, running a max event can be difficult because there's just a lot of people. That said, provincials is easier running 4 lanes. So, in terms of time, it might not be too bad. That's usually what I think of when I think of max events at these competitions, is how long it's going to take. But that being said, running 4 lanes, and the organizers of these events over the last couple of provincial events have shown that they've got their stuff together, and they can run a good show. So max deadlift wouldn't be terrible. So my preferred would be axle or trap bar. I get the feeling it's going to be mammoth. So mammoth would be my guess. Loading, they gave us keg, Inukshuk, sandbag, or all of the above. All of the above is my guess. It's going to be a loading medley. There's going to be at least one medley, because strongman is quickly becoming heavy CrossFit. So I get the feeling it's going to be a medley of a keg and a Inukshuk, and then just a generic sandbag. Not likely in that order. Could be in that order. Hard to say. But that's what I think it's going to be. The Weight Pit did a keg loading 2 years ago, and I don't know the last time I've done loading outside of that, but that wouldn't be too bad, because I have all of those implements. I can train those all here, so that would be good. Then there's moving is frame. The moving event options are frame, farmers, yoke, sandbag carry. I get the feeling it will either be a frame or a yoke. We had farmers last year, and since I've already guessed that we're going to do a sandbag overhead press 2 sandbags will be involved in the loading medley. I don't imagine they'll give us a sandbag carry for the moving, but again, they could. I would prefer a yoke above all else, to be honest, because my yoke is coming along very well and I'm a little biased in that sense. Plus, training yoke is fun, and I think yoke is one of the better looking strongman events out there, and I think it's a better one. I just think it's a better event, to be honest with you. So it'll likely be frame or yoke. We did farmers last year, so I don't imagine they'll give us again farmers back to back years. But if I had to guess, I'm going to say it'll be a yoke, which is what I would prefer it to be as a yoke. The wild card event is a tire flip, moving medley, sandbag toss, or a 1 liter milk chug. And if it's a 1 liter milk chug, I'm going to win. That's just all there is to it. White milk, whole milk, skim milk, chocolate milk, goat milk, don't matter. I'll win it. That's so it's tire flip, moving medley, or sandbag toss. Of those 3, I don't like any of them. I'm not great at tire flips because I do not have strong biceps, and that's an easy one for people to get hurt on. So I'm hoping it's not a tire flip, but it could be. Moving medley, I'm hoping it's not, because we'll have a loading event plus a moving event plus a moving medley. That would just be, in my opinion, a mistake, because then it might as well be a CrossFit event. But it's probably going to be a sandbag toss. The amateur shows around here love a good sandbag toss, plus we're inside, so we've got the height to do a sandbag toss. Last year we did the single arm sandbag toss. We didn't have a sandbag throwing event in 2024. 2023 we were outside and we did. So we could absolutely have another sandbag toss. As long as it's not a single arm, I'll be happy, because I think single arm sandbag tosses are one of the dumbest events that I've ever had to be a part of. And I realize that I'm biased in that because I suck at it, but that's still my opinion. So my guesses for the provincial events will be a sandbag press, a mammoth bar deadlift, loading medley of a keg and shuck and sandbag. We will likely have to do a yoke for our moving, and then a sandbag toss as the wild card. Those are my guesses. And this week we'll know. So we'll see how far off I am with those. And whatever we have to do, I will be ready for. Because like I said, my goal for Goliath Games in a few weeks is to get my qualifier. And then I can take the time between now and then to properly prep for provincials and give myself the best opportunity at provincials, unlike I did last year. So that's the goal, is to just give myself the best opportunity. I'm still going to be at other shows next weekend, or this weekend coming rather. I will be at the weight pit as a referee. Pav has asked me to come down and ref a group, which I'm more than happy to. I want to stay involved in the community. I want to be helpful at these events. I'm going to let, again, once I see how I do, we'll determine what other events I have to sign up for if I don't get my qualifier. But again, I'm hoping I do. If I get my qualifier, I will be reaching out to Marshall and Andrew, who run Muskoka Mayhem and Battle at the Brink respectively, to let them know I'm around to help with whatever they need. Because like I said, I still want to help and I still want to give back. And that's one of the reasons why I've done so many events in the past, is because these people put on shows for people to compete in. And I've always felt like it's my duty, more or less, to sign up and do as many shows as possible. One, because I like to competing, and two, because they put the shows on. They deserve to have athletes there to compete. And I realize that I'm being kind of hypocritical now when I say that, because I'm not planning on competing at those shows, and I have in the past, because I want to give myself the best opportunity to do well at provincials. And the very least I can do is offer my time as a volunteer, whether that's loading plates, whether that's scorekeeping, refereeing, emceeing, whatever. I will do whatever I can to help out at those. And I'll reach out to Paul too, who runs Six Nations. I forgot. I knew there was another event I was forgetting between now and provincials. I helped out at Paul as a referee last year at his show, and I would love to do so again this year. Again, depending on how things go at Goliath Games. So all in all, training has gone really well. The athlete list is out. I'm very excited to see a lot of these guys again because I enjoy competing with them and against them. We will know this week what the provincial events are, so I can prep mentally for that. And then outside of that, my focus coming up is to go referee at Weight Pit. This is the first year I'm not competing at the Weight Pit, and I feel bad for that. But again, I thought of the two shows, Goliath Games gave me my best opportunity. It gave me two extra weeks of prep. Plus, I think the events are better for me. So I'm excited to at least go and help out because that was the very first show I ever did when I got into amateur strongman. So I'm glad I can at least go down and help. So outside of that, everything feels good. I feel good. Tamara has been stretching me pretty regularly to help with my hips and my psoas because my psoas continues to be the bane of my existence. I think beyond that, it's all just mental for me right now. So yeah, that pretty much sums a speed run sum up of where we're at and where we're headed. So anything outside of that, if you guys want, I'm taking on some clients for personal training for strongman and powerlifting. I don't do bodybuilding because I'm not a good bodybuilding individual. I know not much about it, but I know people that do. So if you want to hire me as a coach, by all means, you can reach out on Instagram or on here and let me know. And yeah, I'll be back. I'll be back next week to talk about the provincial events as I get ready for Goliath Games. So stay strong, everybody, and we'll see you next time.